Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Mike Sylvester, founder and host of Better Future Conversations, a financial literacy project geared towards empowering you to realize your financial goals, including to become financially independent. I'm also an economist, a residential real estate developer, and strategist, and an author. As I outlined in last week's video, this project has two components. The first component is my interesting and insightful book entitled The Grenadian Dream, a roadmap to a better economic and financial future. The second component is my weekly video series, which picks up on your comments and questions on the topics explored in the book. In this week's video, I will touch on one of the very first comments that I would have received. I will touch on it very shortly. Before I do so, I want to take this opportunity to express how immensely grateful I am for the outpouring of support for my project and my book. Special thanks to the persons who have already gotten their copy of the Grenadian Dream and are reading and are enjoying, the contents. I want you to, of course, to share your comments, share your feedback. Others will be motivated by your example. I encourage persons who have not yet made that important decision to take advantage of my limited time offer to get your copy of the Grenadian Dream without further delay. I put the link directly to the book page at the start of the description section of this video. Once you click it, it takes you directly to the book page where you can complete your transaction in less than a minute. Some persons are saying that they're being asked to create a PayPal account. That's very simple. You can use your existing email address and a password, and then you can use your credit card or your debit card to complete the transaction. Also, don't forget to like this video and to subscribe to this page if you have not done so already to keep this conversation going. Now, to the substance of this week's video, someone said to me, Mike, you have to have lots and lots of money. You have to be rich to be giving personal financial advice. And while I totally do not agree with this perspective, I see merit to it. It's how I feel, for example, about persons who are always quick to give relationship advice, but they've never had a stable relationship in their entire life. So I understand the reasoning behind the statement. But I want to say this. About 6 years ago, I had what I consider a light bulb moment. It was the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back, as they say. I was having this conversation with a retiree, someone who would have retired from government and was earning both a government pension and a national insurance scheme pension. Now, this person was facing the prospect of losing their house, and it was a very sad and distressing situation. The person, of course, unfortunately had a mortgage going into retirement because of Hurricane Ivan. I know that is not very far-fetched. A lot of persons I know will have a mortgage going into Hurricane Ivan. And the disturbing thing is that the increasing trend, the increasing intensity and frequency of natural disasters based on the latest report of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the situation is more than likely to become worse. So this was a young lady who, not a young lady, but it was an individual who would have worked very hard, retired from a senior position in government, and would have expected to be enjoying your golden years and so on. And I was now facing with calls, letters threatening to foreclose on the home. And it was a very, as I said, a very disturbing and distressing situation. And I sat there listening to this conversation. And selfishly so, I started thinking about my own financial situation. And all manner of fears started boiling inside of me. I was wondering to what extent I was able to, or my family was able to deal with a major medical emergency. Whether and to what extent my family was able to survive or weather a temporary job loss. Or whether and to what extent we're able to deal with a natural disaster, the likes of Hurricane Ivan or even worse. All of these fears started boiling inside of me. And this led me to sit down for the very first time with my family to have a serious conversation about money. And what came out of that conversation was a definite purpose and plan to secure our financial future. Now, it's not just important to have a plan or to have a purpose. You also need action. And so we have been implementing a number of strategies to help us, to secure a financial future, to ensure that we are ready for retirement. We have been implementing a number of strategies to help us grow and diversify our income stream. A number of strategies to help us to get out of debt, and of course avoid costly borrowing mistakes. And the thing about it, I feel so much confident. I can see a significant progress in many of these areas, and I'm very happy. I'm very comfortable with where I'm at. So I'm not rich, but my strategies are working, and I think they can work for you as well. So I've outlined a number of these strategies, of all of these strategies in my book, and I believe that once you have gotten the book and you will have read the book, you will see some of these strategies. The entire book may not align with your goals, but I'm sure you can find several golden nuggets in the book that you can apply in your life. That, of course, will help you in your journey, your financial journey, as well. So, having said all of this, I want to spend the next couple minutes of the video to talk about how I see myself, my future self, living the Grenadian dream in years to come. Now, I think this is important. I think it's important to always begin with the end in mind. Before I do so, let me define the Grenadian dream. The Grenadian dream is similar to the concept of the American dream. The American dream, as you know, was invented by James Truesdale Adams back in the 1930s with reference to the United States. And the United States has always been seen as the epitome of economic and financial prosperity, where success is reachable regardless of your initial station in life. I personally believe that working together, we can make Grenada a model, we can make Grenada a paragon of economic and financial prosperity. We can make our own Grenadian dream, where all of these things are possible. Yeah. So now, what is a typical day in the life of Mike Sylvester within that context? Down the road. So I will see myself getting up from a warm bed, to a hot cup of Blue Mountain, Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee. We don't do coffee in Grenada. We don't produce coffee in Grenada. So of course I would do some Jamaican coffee, and I would shower, put on some light clothing, and of course head to my home office, overlooking the beautiful Caribbean Sea, and the beach below. You can tell I also like being close to the sea, and my wife would be up by then as well, doing her devotion and of course preparing herself for the rest of the day, doing whatever she pleases. I will use my first hour to do my devotion as well, including taking in the sights and praising the mighty God for his blessings, and the fact that we had almost everything good. Once I'd have done my devotion, I would then sit behind my computer to check our financial situation, check our investments in a variety of instruments, locally, regionally, and internationally, as well as our interest in several fully and partially owned companies. And once I'd have done the financial aspects, I would do some reading, follow up on what's happening around the world, what's happening locally, regionally. I would also, do some reading in my area of interest. And as you could probably tell, one of the areas my interest is financial literacy. So I will see how I can contribute further to the development of Grenada within the financial literacy space. By then, this project, will be reaching tens and thousands of people through my books and videos. I also hope to have a philanthropic aspect of this project, and so we will have as a staple annual dinner and dance, and we will of course use that opportunity to raise resources to help young people to develop their financial literacy skills and so on and so forth. So that is the other aspect. Once I'd have done that, of course, I would take a short rest, listen to some music, relax my mind, and then I will have some breakfast, and later on I would head to the gym, of course, to do my exercise. As you know, you have to balance your life. You can't just focus on money. You have to make sure you have a balanced life. So exercise, good eating, and of course, you have to have resources set up and so on. So later that evening, my wife and I would sit down to a nice, quiet candlelight dinner over some wine. Even this morning we were arguing about what we would have. And, she was thinking about something simple, but of course, I was thinking about something a little more complicated in terms of dinner. But that's besides the point. The point I'm making is that you too can be part of the Grenadian dream. You too can contribute to making your country the best it can be. You too can contribute to making your finances the best it can be, including to become financially independent. That, of course, is a very important goal. Point, your past does not have to equal your future. You have in fact, using this video, the choice is yours. You can just ignore all that I've said, or you can make a choice to take charge of your financial situation, grab the bull by the horns, as they say, and make a change for the better. My book will help. My book will guide you. It's a blueprint in terms of how you can revolutionize your financial situation. It's a blueprint of how you can put your financial house in order. So I want to end again with a call to action. I want to encourage you to get a copy as soon as possible. I want to encourage you to like this video. I want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel and to spread the good news, about this project and what we are trying to do. I look forward to seeing you soon at another video. Until then, take care. Peace out. Let me see what I say. Oh, shit.